Hey guys, how you doing? Back to make another video. What I do want to talk about is the NBA Finals, tonight's NBA Finals matchup with Miami Heat and San Antonio Spurs, which I am really excited about. So, excuse me, I'm here to bring this up because I think this is going to be a great matchup. Two three stars matching them against another team with 3-star players, and they're surrounded with upcoming stars, so that's what I'm looking forward to. So here to talk about that, so I'm excited about that. So what I'm here to talk about is, what do you think is who do you think is going to win between the Heat and the Spurs? I think the Spurs do have a huge chance because it is two big threes going at it, but you have to really look at it at this one. The Spurs, Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan, they have been playing together since, for 10 years they've been playing together. And for 14 straight seasons, they had 50-plus wins. And they have a well-veteran coach, Greg Popovich. It's been the same squad for over a decade. They've been playing together for actually a decade right now. Ginobili, huge star player. I'm surprised. He surprised me a lot. I thought he was going to be a good starter, but I didn't think he was going to be the star player. But I knew he was going to be a good athlete. So I mean, kudos to him. I remember watching him play back in 2005. Kudos to him for becoming a good star athlete. Tony Parker, remember in 2003, he was in commercials. I knew he was a star player for the team. Playing him in NBA Live 2003, and that's when Avery Johnson used to be the starter for the Spurs back in 98-99 when the Spurs won their first NBA championship. But Tony Parker, ever since Avery Johnson, went to Dallas, they got Tony Parker, and he became the new starter for the team. That was when they won their second NBA championship. So that was Tony Parker and Ginobili's first NBA championship. Duncan and Robinson's second. So David the Admiral Robinson did retire. The Spurs continued to do great wonders. 2003, 2004, they got knocked out of the playoffs by the Lakers. So Lakers did got some retribution there. Lakers went to the finals, lost to Detroit. But the year after, they bounced back, and with the Lakers were a struggling team after Phil Jackson left, and practically most of the squad for the Lakers left, and they became a rebuilding team. Lakers didn't do very well. Spurs took that ticket and knocked off, I think, the Suns to go to the finals and beat the Detroit in Game 7, which I thought was great. They jogged. My brother told me, man, it's not like the 80s. They start sprinting like, oh, we won! And they get trampled over like, ah! So, Spurs jogged on the court and celebrated their third NBA championship. So far, Duncan has 3. Tony Parker, Ginobili, I think they have 2 NBA championships. And what else? Dwayne Wade for Miami Heat has 2 NBA championships. LeBron has 1. And Bosh also has their first NBA championship. So LeBron, who just came from Cleveland back in 2010 to join the Heat in 2010 season, has been really doing wonders with Miami Heat. They have been championship contenders since then. So this is their 3rd straight trip to the NBA Finals. So they've been to the Finals 3 straight times. The Spurs haven't been in the NBA Finals for 6 years now, since 2006-2007 season, since the 2007 NBA playoffs. So the Spurs were champions. The last time they were in the Finals was when they won. So all the Western Conference championships they won, all the NBA Finals appearances they won all of them. So I'm hoping it's Bulls and Spurs, but the problem with that is that I do want to see that happen because they've both been undefeated in the NBA Finals. The problem with that is that the Bulls have practically a new team with Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, Luol Deng, Joakim Noah. The Spurs still have some players from the 90s who probably played against Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, Luke Longley. I don't know if Will Perdue was on the Spurs then, so he didn't join the Bulls until the Bulls became this rebuilding team. Joe Klein, Dennis Rodman, Ron Harper, that squad. So yeah, that's what I gotta say to that, which was kind of crazy. So for the most part, it would be a great matchup, but it's like the Bulls have a new team now for over a decade, so it's like, how would they match up against a veteran Spurs with veteran athletes from the 90s? So that's the question. So it's kind of amazing how time goes fast, but yeah, that's what happens. So can Dwayne Wade get his third NBA championship? Because LeBron and Bosh, well, Udonis Haslem also has his second NBA championship. He's been with the team since the beginning, so since the same time Dwayne Wade was on the team. So it's kind of like I've been watching him play since I moved to Miami and watched him with Shaq play. And Shaq got his last NBA championship with the Heat, and that was their fourth NBA championship. And Dwayne Wade apparently, they were the new dynamic team when they had Shaq and Alonzo Mourning, who also had his first NBA championship. But if you look at the Miami Heat now, they got LeBron. They got a real flashy team. They got a good bench too, especially Ray Allen, who got his first NBA championship with the Celtics, with Garnett and Pierce. And now it's like the team is starting to build around Rondo and Green now. So I can't wait to see that happen. So that's what I'm thinking. So now it's like you got the matchup with Kawhi Leonard becoming the huge coming star. Can he get his first NBA championship? Surprisingly, he really surprised me as he's the starter player. He's like the new huge comer for the team, for the San Antonio Spurs. He is now lethal. Because he was the huge upcoming star, and apparently he has been making a huge impact, because now he's going to be matching up against LeBron James. That's what I'm seeing happening. So as he's the forward, against James, and I don't know if Bosh is playing power forward or center, but Bosh is going to be in the lineup. Bosh is probably going to be matched up against either Dejounte Blair or Duncan. Duncan and Bosh would be a great matchup. Duncan, experienced forward or center, and Bosh, kind of this upcoming star. So I'm seeing some things happen. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's what I gotta say to that. I'm a little excited about that, to say the least. So, past meets present. I'm on the ESPN website right now, and this is exciting. So Dwayne Wade, Ginobili, I think it's gonna be a great matchup. Even though Dwayne Wade could play point guard, but he plays guard more. Two athletes that came around at the same time. I'm a little excited about that. So this is going to be a good NBA Finals. So even though it's going to be a multi-series game, I think this is going to be worth watching. It's worth watching. So they got Mary Chalmers and Kawhi Leonard becoming the upcomers. So Kawhi Leonard, I think Dejounte Blair are going to be the huge upcomers for the team. So that's what I'm looking forward to watching. So that's what I gotta say to that. So I'm a little excited. So I'm a little looking forward to this. Sorry if I'm getting distracted, but yeah, it's gonna be exciting. So I think Ginobili and Wade will put on a great matchup. Parker and Chalmers. Chalmers is an upcoming star. He's been with the Miami Heat for 5 years, which he is a good starter. So I mean, he's still a good point guard, but he's kind of like under Wade, Bosh, and LeBron. So that's the thing with big threes. If you look at the other starters for the team, they're kind of under those big three stars. So, but Chalmers, I think, can still do a lot of wonders. And Kawhi Leonard, is a huge star player for the team. So that's what I gotta say to that. So Kawhi Leonard, LeBron, I think are gonna go at it, and I think they're gonna play off very well. LeBron can play a good small forward. And Kawhi Leonard and LeBron, but LeBron's more veteran. But Kawhi Leonard is a huge star upcomer, but he's a huge star player. He is the future for the Spurs if he could stick around with them after the Spurs' 3 stars retire, or mostly if Duncan retires. How will Kawhi Leonard and Blair step in as the new era for the Spurs? So that's what I gotta say to that. So the bench, I think the bench looks good. Tango Splinter and Birdman Anderson, I'm thinking. They can go at it well. Hopefully, Birdman Anderson's suspension is probably lifted after one game after there's an altercation with Hansbrough. The Spurs, I think, they have a balanced bench, especially Bonner, who can shoot really well. Probably play the post very well, so he looks like a good center, but he's big, so I don't think he can play a forward. Shane Battier and Mike Miller are one of their best shooters. Tango Splinter, I know, Tiago Splitter, he could play a really good post player. He's a good post guy. So the Spurs bench looks more balanced than the Heat, because the Heat mostly have their shooters with Mike Miller and Shane Battier and Ray Allen, Raymundo. So if the Spurs could really play the perimeter defense they could against the bench, then the Spurs will have their Heat numbers. I mean, the Spurs will have the Heat number, will have their number. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So I think this is good, but the good thing is, watching the ESPN Past Me Present it's starting to excite me a whole lot. Believe it or not, it is exciting me. It is exciting me because you see the new Heat Big Three against a veteran Big Three, like I said before earlier in this video, and I'm gonna repeat this because the Spurs Big Three have been around for a decade and no transaction has happened. It has not been short-lived. And for 14 straight seasons, like I said, have won 50-plus games. They continue to be consistent. The Heat will have that same consistency with the young Big Three of Bosh, LeBron, and Wade. For 3 straight seasons, they have been in the finals. They lost to Dallas, but the next one they did win a championship during the shortened season. And you could say, hey, it's a lockout season when Reggie Evans did that trash talk. I thought it was lame. It was no big deal to me because he said, oh, that's not a real season. It was a lockout season. But hey, LeBron took it seriously, but then he proved him wrong and he smashed Reggie Evans. Reggie Evans is a star player, but hey, it happens, unfortunately. So, as much as I can say to that, yep, I'll be looking forward to the NBA Finals, which starts tonight. Hopefully, I can be in time to watch the big ABC NBA Finals. So, I'll be catching that. The question is, are you guys going to watch the NBA Finals? That's the thing. It starts at 8 o'clock Eastern, which I'm looking forward to. So, what I also want to talk about, I forgot to mention this matchup, is the Heat and the Spurs both swept their first round opponents. Spurs swept the Lakers, which was disappointing for the Lakers to fight for a playoff spot and for them to get their butts whooped. The Heat swept the Bucks. The Bucks just easily walked into the playoffs. They didn't really fight hard. Before the April, all the ACs were clinched, so which I thought was a complete mess. The Eastern Conference was slight of disappointment when they got Toronto with Rudy Gay. So Toronto did improve, but they could have fought for a playoff spot. I thought they were really doing a lot of wonders with Rudy Gay joining the team. So that's what I gotta say to that. They're 34-48, so hopefully Toronto becomes a good team again. The Spurs really fought hard against the Warriors. The Warriors were their toughest competition in the playoffs so far. But Memphis, I thought, were their toughest competition too, despite the sweep. But Spurs got more rest, so Warriors were their toughest. Based on how the series was, the Warriors were their toughest competition. The Bulls were kind of the toughest competition, but the Heat were kind of rusty. So once they got back on track, they swept them. But the Pacers were their toughest competition in the conference finals. So they still seem fresh after knocking off the Pacers in Game 7, but they easily blew them out. The Spurs, they swept Memphis, so they got an easy walk. They got an easy ticket. So much I can say to that, it will be Spurs and Heat, which I'm really excited about. Champion contenders team. So this is going to be a big, meaningful NBA Finals matchup, so which I'm looking forward to. So kudos to the Heat and the Spurs. Kudos to the Spurs continuing their consistency despite getting knocked down the first round by Memphis 2 years ago back in 2011. And kudos to the Heat continuing to be a strong team. So with LeBron was on a good team with Cleveland. Until 2010, he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers from 2003 to 2010. And then when he joined the Miami Heat, he actually became a bigger, stronger player than he was on Cleveland. Cleveland, he was good, but on the Heat, he was a stronger player with Dwayne Wade and having the team around him. So he is a leader, but he surprisingly took over. I thought Dwayne Wade was still the leader, but Dwayne Wade and LeBron were able to coordinate very well. So, and then they have, Bosh? Yeah, Bosh from Toronto. Toronto, he had some good seasons in Toronto, but Toronto did do very well with Bosh. So, him joining the Heat, I thought would really make wonders with him. So, Dwayne Wade with 2 championships, especially with Shaq 4. So, he won his first championship when they had Shaq and Alonzo Mourning as their big 3. So, he was surrounded by veteran centers. And Udonis Haslem also was a good athlete too off the bench and power forward center as well. So they had a good team then, especially had Antoine Walker and Gary Payton. But if you look at it now with LeBron and Bosh and Shane Battier, Mike Miller, and Ray Allen, they still have a good acquaintance. So NBA Finals tonight, and I'll be catching that. Anyway, have a good day. Take it easy.